Now, I welcome you all to today's webinar on tips and tricks to score high in business studies, an expert view. My name is Dr. Pooja, and I'm faculty of marketing with APJ Institute of Management and Engineering Technical Campus. Dear students, exam bring with them a lot of stress, pressure, and anxiety. And who knows it better than you? Working towards exams can create feelings of worry and being under pressure, especially at your stage when you are aiming very high score. It may be very simple to do, but not doing it or doing it in a wrong way may prove to be taxing. So it is important to understand that strategic preparation plays a vital role in overall success. Now, keeping this in mind, we, the faculty of APJ Institute of Management and Engineering Technical Campus, have made an attempt through this webinar, to provide you the guidance on how you can give your best in exams and attain high scores. Now, in the next 1 hour, you will be getting an insight into the strategies, ideas, and techniques to score maximum in business studies exam. I'm specifically talking about business studies exam because it's just around the corner for grade 12 students. Now, before we start, let me explain how you can connect to us during the webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, during the webinar, I request you all to please type your questions in the question and answer section box and
140.
not in the chat box. I'll bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have time for the questions at the end. I feel honored to introduce our panelists for today's webinar. We have with us Madam Kanika Chopra, who is an expert in English, and Madam has an experience of 15 years. She's an expert in her subject, and her interest areas include eco-criticism, feminist studies, gender studies, and literature for children. We're glad to have you amongst us, ma'am. Mr. Kabil Gurli, Faculty of Marketing with expertise in social media, and sir has more than 12 years of experience. And we also have with us Ms. Harmandeep Kaur, Faculty of Finance with interest areas in banking, cross-culture management, and digitalization in financial sector. I welcome you all to this webinar. Now, without taking much of your time, I now invite our Honorable Director, Sir, Dr. Rajesh Bagga, to address the attendees. I welcome you, sir.
So thank you so much, Kanika, for going through the brief journey of APJ Institute of Management and Engineering, and Pooja for a very nice introduction. Thank you so much. Very good afternoon to all my dear attendees, to the speaker of the day, Mrs. Loveleen Bagga, and to all attendees. I welcome you all to this webinar on tips and tricks to score high in business studies and expert view. My dear attendees, I am glad to share that APJ Institute of Management and Engineering has organized a series of webinars covering different topics during this COVID time period. Specifically, one was about the Indian economy amidst COVID-19. Then one was the fantastic mathematical tools to crack aptitude tests. Then the future of Python. One was digital disruption and changing IT scenario. To name a few. And today's webinar is aimed at giving you an insight to scoring high in your exams in this competitive scenario. My dear friends, the topic is chosen how to score high in case of a business studies. A reason being, now you are left with one pending exam of business studies on July 9th. But here, when we were discussing with the speaker and all the dignitaries, we were finding out that there is a one evaluator's viewpoint. Whenever the evaluator is going to evaluate any of the examination, so what is the viewpoint they are keeping it there in mind while evaluating your answer sheets. So I think this is not suitable only for the business studies, but also for the other examinations as well. Kanika has already gone through the brief history of APJ Institute of Management and Engineering. My dear friends, just I will not take much of your time. Reason being, now you will be concerned with the tips and tricks to score high in your examination in business studies. But about APJ Institute of Management and Engineering, it comes into existence, just a brief journey, comes into existence in the year 1997 under the aegis of APJ Education Society, and among 24 educational institutions of schools, schools, colleges and institutions apart from this one university, APJ Satya University. Today we have taken a resource person, Mrs. Lavleen Baga, from one of the pioneer school of APJ Education Society, that is APJ School Mahavir Marg Jalandhar. And way back in 1968, late Dr. Satyapal ji, the founder, beloved chairman of APJ Education Society, laid the foundation of APJ School Mahavir Marg. And now we are having 24 educational institutions across the country. So now the legacy of APJ Satya Group, it is being carried forward by the only child and daughter of Satyapal ji, Madam Sushma Paul Barlia. Coming into existence in the year 1997 with the MBA, BBA and PCA program. Later on in 99, we introduced our MCA program. And I'm glad to share with all of you in 2018, we started with our engineering branches with BTech, Computer Science Engineering with 60 seats, and BTech Electronics and Electronics and Communication Engineering with 60 seats. So my dear friends, you know the change in the IT scenario and the lot of engineering scenario, it is being changing. So this year, I'm really glad to share with all of you. This year, we have taken approval from All India Council for Technical Education for 2 more streams in case of a BTech. That is BTech Computer Science Engineering. Computer Science Engineering, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning with 30 seats, and BTech Computer Science Engineering with Internet of Things, cybersecurity and blockchain technology. So now, not taking much of time, I would like you are going to hear a lot of tips and tricks with regard to the scoring high in business studies. And I think that will be more useful in number of examinations or any of the theory examinations. Thank you so much. I think the majority of students, they have joined. And my request, it is to all the attendees, please raise your questions in Q&A, not in the chat box. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Well, dear attendees, the resource person of the day is of today's webinar is from APJ School Mahavir Marg, and sir has given us a very beautiful introduction to APJ School. APJ School is a renowned school which was established in 1968 and is famous for its experienced and qualified faculty, and is and also the kind of inputs they make in curricular and co-curricular activities for the overall development of its students. APJ School is also known for its proud alumni who are well placed in various sectors, and it is because of the many activities that they conduct for the overall development of their students. Like recently they celebrated Environment Day to make their students aware of the need to maintain a healthy and clean environment. And some of the other activities they conducted during the lockdown period are the inter-house English speech competition, the PPT competition, talent and poem recitation, Mother's Day celebration, music, art and craft and yoga activities, poster competition and dance competition, and the list is long. These activities make APJ School develop the personalities of the students in a holistic way. I feel elated to introduce today's resource person, who's from APJ School. Madam has more than 20 years of experience in studies, research, teaching, and administration, and she holds a degree in, degrees in MCOM and MEd with expertise in the areas of commerce and accounting. Madam has also conducted workshops on topics like gender sensitization and impact of social media on students. This shows how concerned our resource person is towards the well-being of our students. She's a dedicated professional, and Madam has also been a brilliant student. Ma'am is a proud recipient of Rashtrapati Award and Rashtrapati Bhavan for significant achievements in the fields of Girl Scouts. We are so proud of you, ma'am. Dear students, let me have the privilege to introduce to you the women of virtue and simplicity, Madam Lavleen Baga, Head of Commerce Department, APJ School, Mahavir Marg. I welcome you, ma'am.
I request first unmute and we can proceed ahead. Meantime, my request to all attendees, please put your queries during the webinar in Q&A, not in the chat box. My request to all attendees once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am. for introducing me in such a nice way. Very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to APJ Education Society for providing me this forum and as a resource person. And APJ Education Society was established in 1967 by our beloved founder chairman, sir, late Dr. Satyapal ji, and now his legacies is being carried forward by only child and daughter, worthy President Ma'am Sushma Paul Barlia. APJ Education Society keep on organizing so many webinars to enhance the learning skills of the students. And today they have invited me to have this webinar, especially for the students to increase their marks or to improve their score in their board exam, especially the exam which is pending. But this is not going to be only useful for the students who are appearing in business studies exam. It is going to be useful in almost all the papers, in all the almost all the examination for all the levels of students. I mean, for school student, for college student, for university students. I hope it is going to be useful for them. And I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our President Ma'am, and to worthy Principal Sir, Mr. Garish Kumar, APJ School, Mahavir Marg, and Dr. Rajesh Bagga, Director, APJ Institute of Management and Engineering, for providing me this opportunity to share my experiences as teacher as well as an evaluator, so that I can contribute a little bit to improve the performance of our children, right, which is the main focus of almost all the institutions and parents as well. So I would like to thank everyone, but I think we should come to the point now. Most many students have already, many attendees have already joined. So I think we should come to the point. So I want to share something with all the participants, with all the attendees, and it is going to be useful for all of you. See, as we all know, that this webinar is specially been organized to enhance the score of those students who are going to appear in their last pending board exam, that is business studies. But as I said, it is going to be useful for all the students. So I hope all the attendees are going to be benefited from this. So I'm very thankful to our inspiration and our strength. See, all the students, I hope they are well versed with the syllabus, right? 80 marks paper in which they are going to appear on 9th July. And there is a project of 20 marks. I'll give a quick view of this particular slide because you already know about it. So theory is 80 marks and project 20 marks, which has already been taken place. And most of the students are done with the project work. And now only the theory exam is pending, in which they'll be appearing on 9th July. And see, these are the units, right? These are 8 units which are in part A, and there are 4 units in part B. First 3 units are carrying 16 marks weightage. 4th and 5th unit is carrying 14 marks weightage, and last 7th and 8th unit are carrying. These 2 units are carrying, staffing, directing, controlling. These 3 units are carrying combined weightage of 20 marks. Then financial management, financial market together is carrying 15 marks weightage, and marketing management and consumer protection, we all know, they are carrying 15 marks weightage, right? So, and this will be the distribution or pattern of your exam. We all know that 20 objective questions will be there. including MCQs, blanks, and one or two liner definitions or meanings or something like that. And then there will be 5 questions of 3 marks each, 3 questions of 4 marks each, and again 3 questions of 5 marks each, and 3 questions of 6 marks each. So there will be 34 questions in your exam, right? So paper is lengthy. Children generally say that business studies paper is always lengthy, and there will be some choices also. Sometimes, see, first time children are going to appear when 20 marks objective type has been introduced, right? So what we expect that according to CBSE syllabus, that they'll be getting 1 choice here in 20 marks, 1 choice here in 3 marks, 1 choice in 4 marks. So there will be internal choices, 6 internal choices, right? And they'll get 1 or 2 choices in 6 marks questions also. So total 34 questions, which are compulsory, but children, they'll get 6 internal choices from which they can choose according to their comfort level. Now I have divided the attemptation of paper, or you can say tips and tricks to score high, in 2 parts. First, we should focus on how to prepare business studies. And second is how to attempt your paper. That is important, right? So both the aspects are important to score or to improve your score or to get above 90s. So both the phases are important. Both the parts are important. You need to focus one by one on both the things. So I'll be taking up the first one. How to prepare and remember the content. See, all the students, they follow almost same books, NCERT or reference book. But some students, they score high and some are not able to get that much. So where the difference lies? Difference lies in their preparation as well as the way they attempt their paper. So let's see what should be done while preparing the subject, right? And how to remember the content. See, this is also sometimes children, they feel that it is really difficult to keep the content in mind, right? So why it happens that they are not able to memorize the things, they are not able to remember the content, and they are not able to reproduce the correct content at the time of appearing in exam. So let's see what they should do while preparation. What are the things they should keep in mind while preparing their subject? See, there are around 20 days left in your exam, and you can prepare it well. There is no issue in that. I hope you have already started. All the students have already started their preparation, but still those who have not taken up seriously because this exam was postponed, and children sometimes they go into a comfort zone. Break your comfort zone. Only 18 days are left to be very precise, and you need to prepare your paper properly. And this paper is, I mean, not a very only theory paper. There are many technical things which you need. So let's see what are the things to be keep in mind while preparing your subject. See, first of all, I'll suggest you to prepare 1 unit or 1.5 unit daily. So according to the number of days left, I suggest you to prepare 1.5 unit daily at least, and do it thoroughly, right? Thoroughly in the sense that too from NCERT. That too from NCERT. Each and every line of NCERT should be understood properly. And conceptual clarity is very, very important in this subject, right? And each line of NCERT should be properly read and understood. This is all important. And then see, sometimes what we do, we go through NCERT, we mug up things, but then we say it is, see, I couldn't score that much in my internal exams, even after going through the NCERT properly twice or thrice. It means somewhere we have not understood the concepts. We have not understood the concepts. Only mugging up is not important. You need to focus on the conceptual knowledge, right? Each concept, each term, each word should be clear to you, right? And while preparing your subject, or while going through the particular chapter or topic or concept, please underline keywords. That is very, very important. Underline keywords, understand them, because ultimately they are going to help you, right, to solve your case studies and application based questions, right? So without thoroughly doing your NCERT, without understanding the concepts, without having adequate conceptual clarity, see, it's not possible to get the excellent score above 90s. Or see, sometimes what happens, children, they feel that if one particular point or word or concept is not clear, see, it is not going to come in the exams. They presume it, right? This shows your, reckless nature. So whenever you are having that doubt, please write it somewhere in your register, in your diary, note it down properly. And whenever your teacher is comfortable, discuss those vague things, discuss those, those things which are not clear to you with your teacher. Just a minute. See, you can extract a lot out of your teacher. The knowledge, the experience they have, you can't match with that experience. So it is always good to discuss your doubts. Even if you're having a very small doubt, please, without hesitation, discuss it with your teachers, because they are going to help you and they want you to perform well in your exam. Then one thing which is very, very important, see, when you are preparing your chapter or your unit, in this point I have mentioned this, that whenever you are focusing on a particular unit, whenever you are preparing a particular chapter, it is always good to make flow charts, mind maps, diagrams and pictures, right, on sticky notes and attach them with your chapter. Right? You need not to write it in some separate register. You can attach sticky notes, because ultimately whenever you will be going through your NCERT while appearing in your exam, or before appearing in your exam in your preparatories, that organized material is going to help you a lot. So it is good to attach some notes with the chapter, with the topic, and that will, see, things are going to things are always there in your subconscious mind, and whenever you are revising your chapter, things will start striking you when you are you have made your flowcharts, mind maps and diagrams and pictures, etc., and attached them with your topics and all. Things start coming, getting refreshed in your mind, so you can recollect the ideas easily. And see, when you are already prepared with diagrams or mind maps or pictures, it is easy for you to use those diagrams in the board exam also. You need not to think what kind of diagram I should make while writing my paper. They are always there in your mind, because you have practiced them while doing your chapter, right? So I request you to focus on this particular point, because diagrams, charts and pictures, they attract the eye of the evaluator. They get impressed by those diagrams and by those mind maps and all, right? Mind maps makes it easy to recollect the things. This is also very important. NCERT back exercise, very important to practice that. Practice the back exercise questions given in your NCERT first. I'm not saying that you need not to use any other reference book or any other sample paper, but first of all, you should be clear with the things given in your NCERT. Right? So whatever questions are given in the back exercise, those questions are very balanced questions. Some objective questions are given, some case studies are given, some application based indirect questions are always given. You should practice those questions properly, right? And it is important to use some other sample paper, other reference book, and at least practice 40 to 50 case studies in each chapter. Right? I'm not saying practice it by writing. You can orally do it. Right? You should read and then you should try to recollect that which concept should be applied, and are you able to apply the correct concept. And it is going to help you a lot. It will improve your analytical skills also. It will improve your understanding also, right? About the chapter, about the topic, as well as about the subject also. Then another thing, practice previous year question papers. Very important. Previous year question papers are going to help you a lot, because sometimes you get the same kind of, questions on the same pattern, sometimes with slight variation, right? So that takes lesser time to find out that which concept is to be applied here in this particular case study. So practice previous year question papers and CBSE sample papers, that too by fixing the 3-hour time, right? See, first you should practice all the papers without fixing time, but at least practice 3-4 papers by fixing 3 hours time to understand the pattern and language of the paper. And this fixation of 3 hours time is going to help you in time management also in your board exam, right? So you'll be able to see that how much time is taken in object type, how much time is taken in 3 marker, 4 marker, 5 marker, 6 marker, right? So time management is very, very important in business studies paper. Not only business studies paper, in theory papers. Sometimes children, they feel a shortage of time. So if they practice papers by fixing the time duration, it is going to help them a lot ultimately. So before taking up this, in case if some queries are there, some questions are there, right? I'll be taking up those questions.
Ma'am, I think, may I raise one question? Means generally whenever the students, they are coming to the campus for admission, so sometimes from the mark sheet, we are going through the, we are evaluating a student. So we used to ask certain questions, ki why the less score in this paper or in this paper. So generally the student says ki after preparing so much in the theory paper or in this subject, we are not getting good score in their internal examination, and sometimes we are not able to cope up because they are lacking in somewhere in the course outcome or the subject outcome. So I think it is a quite lengthy question. You are absolutely right. The students, they should go for the back end exercise of NCERT books and so many things. Reason being, around out of 34 questions, a bunch of questions is of objective type, and it is very necessary to go through all these back exercises. So now students, whether they are being aware about the course outcome or the subject outcome, and how many questions of analytical ability or the such categories, means what is your take on this?
So yes, I understand that sometimes children, they say that even after preparing so much, we couldn't get that much in our internal examination, right, while taking their provisional admissions. So what is the reason behind that? What I have analyzed over the time, or what by discussing it with my own students, and by getting the clarity from those discussions, what I felt that, see, in the beginning, when they are appearing in their internal exams, they are doing this subject for the first time. And they feel that this is a theory subject, easy subject, we can do it just by giving a reading. But major factors behind the low performance in the beginning, in their internal exams especially, by the time they take their board exam, they start understanding the subject, no doubt about it, and they improve their score in their final exams, no doubt. Because what we do, we keep on preparing our students about it, and while discussing each chapter, we keep on telling them that which part is important from 1 marker, which part is important from 6 markers. See, in APJ School Mahavir, we keep on giving training to our children that this particular thing, this particular concept can come for one mark question. This can come for 6 mark question. So we keep preparing our children for that. But the reason behind that low performance in their internal exam is one thing, which is the subject is new for them. Then they find it easy because they have this kind of misconception that this is a theory paper, easy paper. So lack of practice leads to that, what I feel, lack of conceptual clarity. See, when they are not practicing it properly, that will ultimately result in lack of clarity. And in exam, when they get case studies and they get application based questions, they are not able to identify the correct concept to be applied in that. And I just want to share one example that the concepts are so close, right? For example, leadership and motivation. These are the two concepts in which children generally get confused, right? So in leadership, see, this is a chapter which we teach to our 12th class students, and generally they get confused in these two concepts. So there are certain concepts which are very closely related or very close to each other, and it is really very difficult to differentiate without practicing them properly. So that may be the reason: lack of practice, lack of conceptual clarity, and then it is not possible for them to find out the correct concept to be applied in the questions which are application based, which are analysis based. So they need to improve their analytical ability to improve their score. And I hope by the end of the year, after their internal exams, they are fully prepared. Most of the students, they get fully prepared to get good score. And presentation part is also sometimes is not that good maybe. So they need to focus on presentation of the content also. So
can I add something, ma'am?
Sure, sir.
Yes, I think very relevant and specific points being discussed by you, lovely ma'am, and very well explained too. I think it is very important for students to understand the mindset or psychology of an evaluator. If a student can attempt the paper in such a manner so that it can satisfy all the requirements of an evaluator, so yes, I think it can make a difference of 10 to 15 marks in his final score.
Yeah, of course, sir. Of course.
And in relation to that, I also want to stress that these concepts are not only important for 10+2 students, but we have many theory papers like in BBA, BCom and MBA also. So it is relevant and applicable to all the students who are attempting any theory paper. In relation to that, ma'am, I have a small question. Like many students think that they do not require much practice for theoretical subjects, like in comparison to the practical subjects. So, or they think that they can easily clear the theoretical subject by studying 3-4 days before the examination. Yes, so, what is your take on this?
Yes, of course, sir. Thank you so much for asking this relevant question. And generally, we face this problem in our class 12 also. See, no doubt, so there are some children who feel that this is a theory subject, and only by going through once, they can perform well in their finals. But this is not the case. So if you are, I just want to suggest my students that if they are doing it for once only and they are not practicing it properly, no doubt it can fetch them average marks. But if they want to increase their score, if they want to get high score above 90s, then they need a lot of practice in it. Because see, case studies, they need conceptual clarity. Application based analytical questions, they need conceptual clarity. And if they are doing it once only, it means they are just going through it. They are not practicing it properly. They are not understanding the content properly. So my suggestion to the students is that if it is a theory subject and even it is also carrying 100 marks weightage equivalent to other, and if it is easy to get good score in a theory subject, they should give proper attention to this subject and they should have consistent study. I don't say that they need to do a lot in it, but they need to do consistent study in theory subjects, because ultimately if the things are going to pile up, then it will become difficult for them to remember the content, right? That creates stress then. So if they want to feel stress free, they should do consistent study. They should practice a lot, understand the concept, keep discussing with the teachers. I think this is going to enhance their score beyond level, beyond their expectation even. I hope I'm clear to you, sir. And clear to that ending.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. So is there any other query?
Ma'am, thank you so much for elaborating on this. Ma'am, I have a question to ask you. Ma'am, how do students practice? Is it good to, for these, since we are touching this, that, you know, the preparation of theoretical exams, so is it better for the students to learn the concepts, learn the answers and then practice in writing, or just learning? Because these are very lengthy papers and sometimes students, they, you know, they want to kind of avoid writing the questions so many times. So that kind of attitude is also seen in the students.
I
So,
understand.
yeah. So what would you suggest, ma'am?
See, in this case, when nowadays what is happening, that children are always reluctant in practicing in writing, especially. But what I feel that if they are not, see, I don't say that they should write each and everything involved in that particular topic, but they should write some hints. They should make some mind maps, pictures, or diagrams or flow charts, right? So that they can revise it quickly at the time of their exam also. So I don't say that they should write each and everything, but if they do written practice, right, only some important points, some important keywords they are writing somewhere in an organized manner, it is going to help them a lot. Ultimately, it will improve their speed of writing also. So they can complete their paper on time.
Right.
So this is, I mean, of a great help to them. So
Certainly.
they should practice 40-50 case studies. I don't say they do it in writing. They can do it verbally. But if some important keyword point or something, some important concept is involved, they should write it on a sticky note and paste it with their topic so that they can quickly revise at the time of their exam.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sure this will really help the students.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we will take, I think, the question and answers being raised by various attendees. I am going through this, but in case if you are left with some portion of your presentation, please go ahead, and so that later on, I think some questions can be taken out.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. So we have done with the first part, how to prepare your subject, right? So I have given you some suggestions that how to prepare it. NCERT is Bible for business studies. So go through NCERT. That is very, very important. And now let's come to the other part, how to prepare, how to attempt paper, right? It means when you are actually going to appear on 9th July in your board exam, what points you should keep in mind. So let's see how to attempt paper. First of all, see, psychological pressure is very bad for any paper. So I always suggest my students to reach in time in the examination center to avoid any kind of hassle with all the required material. Sometimes they forget to bring their roll number, and when invigilators or the examination heads, they ask about it, they got confused and they feel stressed about, right? So they should carry all the things which are important, required material like roll number, ID cards, and the essential stationery also. What they do while writing their exam, they are asking for stationery, like do you have extra pen, or do you have extra pencil or eraser or something like that. So that leads to wastage of time. So they should be properly equipped, right, while going in the examination hall. So this point, I just want my students to go stress free, or they should not face any kind of obstacle or hassle while appearing in their exam. So this point is from that point of view. So see, nowadays children are given special 15 minutes for reading the paper only, right? So what they do, they enter in the examination hall at 10 o'clock, they sit, settle down, and then at 10:15 they are given their question paper, and till 10:30 they are allowed to read the question paper properly, right? They are not provided with answer scripts, because that will divert their attention. So what we do, we provide, this is the instructions of the CBSE, to give the question paper 15 minutes before the exam. So this is the best time, and children should utilize these 15 minutes very rationally, judiciously. And what they can do in these 15 minutes? See, they can choose there are internal choices, as I said. And I suggest them to choose the internal choices which they are going to ultimately write, right? They are going to attempt in their paper. And secondly, they should try to think about the concepts involved in the case studies and indirect questions. So these 15 minutes are very crucial for the students. If they are not utilizing these 15 minutes properly, rationally, and if they are just looking here and there only, right, and exchanging their greetings with the other friends and all, so they waste these 15 minutes. So these 15 minutes are going to matter a lot ultimately in the completion of your paper effectively. So this is my suggestion, that first 15 minutes which are meant for reading the paper, utilize those 15 minutes in a proper manner, scan your paper, prepare your action plan, and choose internal choices and find out the concepts applicable in various case studies and indirect questions. So this is very important thing. Then one thing more which I want to tell you, generally answer keys are made from NCERT. See, when you are evaluating the board exams, you are provided with answer keys as an evaluator. And those answer keys are made from NCERT. So if you are writing from NCERT, if your language is not, see, sometimes children, what they say, we have written it in our own language. We have expressed in our own language. Okay, done. There is no issue in that. But language should be very effective. And try to write quality answers and use technical words also. If some technical words are there in that particular question, use technical words that will impress the evaluator that child knows the subject, child knows where to focus. So language matters a lot. If your language is a very, you can say, layman language that you don't know the subject, so it is not going to impress the evaluator. So quality answers should be written, and try to use points, headings from NCERT, and use effective language, right? So your language is going to matter a lot in your score. Then while answering your questions, instead of giving unnecessary explanations, make flow charts, diagrams, pictures. See, visual thing normally attracts and impresses the view, you can say, evaluator. So when something is visual, you feel convinced that child knows, right? So flowchart, diagram, and pictures, they should be given to supplement your answers, right? And one thing more, sometimes what children they do, they write in paragraphs. See, I don't suggest them to write in paragraphs. Lengthy paragraphs do not make the evaluator psychologically comfortable. So it is always good to divide the paragraph into sub-points and highlight headings, keywords, and key points also. So this is very important. See, sometimes children, what they do after finishing or after completing the entire paper, will be underlining the keywords. This is not a good strategy. Keep underlining the keywords, headings, when you are writing that particular question. Otherwise, it will take time to find out keywords again, to find out the headings again. So if you want to impress the evaluator, so it is always good to write in points, sub-points, not in paragraphs, and underline all key points, keywords, and headings, etc. See, these things I observed as an evaluator also, while evaluating our internal exams, while evaluating our board exams also. One thing more, which generally children, they, sometimes they feel very, they are very careless while attempting the various parts of a question. They do it at different places, right? And the evaluator has to find it out where the other part are written. So that confusion, that discomfort doesn't fetch you good marks. So please, this is my suggestion to you, to do all the parts of a question together at one place, right? Don't do them separately at different places. Please do them together at one place. And if something is not striking you, just leave some space. Leave some space, you can write the answer later when it strikes you, right? Whenever you'll be able to recollect that. So some space, required space can be left to write the answer later. See here, sometimes in a particular question, you are asked to clear your stand, whether you agree, disagree, yes or no. So it is always good to start the answer by clarifying your stand. Yes or no, agree or disagree, and write it in bold, underline it properly, right? Then start answering the rest of the things. So this is also very, very important thing to be kept in mind, that when you are, sometimes children, they give neutral views when they are not clear about it. It's okay, right? But if you know, and if you want to get full marks in that question, it is always good to start with by clarifying your stand. So clarify in the beginning. This is a very important point. There are some questions in which differences are asked. Comparison, you are as student, you need to make comparison between two concepts, or intercomparison you have to make. So it is always, sometimes in your question paper, you are given those basis of differences that you need to differentiate on these particular basis, right, on these points. But sometimes it is not given. But I suggest all the students to write the basis of difference and do these questions in tabular form. Make a table, right? So if you are comparing two terms or two concepts, there will be three rows, three columns, right? And three columns should be made, and then proper table should be made to write your answer. Again, it is going to be a kind of diagram only, and it will be a precise thing to evaluate, right? So differentiation and comparison should always be done in tabular form. Answers should given, basis of difference is very important to be given along with those comparison. And sometimes what children they do, they start writing unnecessary details. See, I just want to give you one example. Which concept bridges the gap between your current and future position? Which concept bridges the gap between your current and future position? See, here you need to write only the name of that concept. You need not to explain that. So write that concept only precisely. So answer here is planning. Planning bridges the gap between your current position and future position. So when you are asked to write that, so give precise answers, specific answers. No need to write unnecessary details, right? So that will, ultimately lead to wastage of time.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you in between. There is a one question in the Q&A. What is the content for the 2 marker, or for suppose 3 marker, or for 6 marker? So whether any specific guidelines being given by CBSE, or they can write at their own means, what should be the length of the same, like this. So in case if you can suggest something on this.
Very valid question, sir. See, many times children, they come up with this query that how much should be written in 6 marker, how much should be written in 5 marker. No doubt, there is a word limit given in the instructions, right, in the board exam. But normally, marks are not deducted for exceeding that word limit. If child exceeds that word limit, that doesn't matter. And evaluators, they are large-hearted, so they don't deduct marks for exceeding that word limit. So what I suggest, that length doesn't matter. Length doesn't matter, because the kind of questions they are given in the board exam or in the this business studies exam, they need precise answers. They need answers according to the case study, according to the concept is to be applied in that. So most of the questions, they are not there is no scope to write unnecessary things, unnecessary details. So write those things which are asked, be specific. And in case if you exceeded the word limit, don't worry at all. It is not going to matter at all. Write to the evaluator. We are concerned with the content needed in that particular question. So if that is given along with those details, so we are going to focus on that. But to save time, it is good to give the precise and specific answers. I hope I'm clear, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Please go ahead.
One thing which is very, very important, and many times when we, when the children, they go to appear in the exam, and when we go along with them, they keep asking, ma'am, what should we do? Should we do it in a serial order from beginning to end, or end to beginning? What should be the order? Reverse order kare, or we should follow the proper order right from the beginning to end? So attempt paper in serial order. See, it is your choice. You can do it in any way. I'll be discussing it later. You can do it in any way, from beginning to end or from end to beginning. Yes, of course. What I suggest to my children, that it is good to start from end, because last questions are 6 marks questions, then comes 5 marks question, then 4 markers, then 3. We see the in reverse order. So when they are finishing their those questions which are carrying maximum weightage, they feel relaxed, because in the beginning they are not tired. Children, they feel tired also when they write exam, right? They feel tired also. So in the beginning they are fresh, and they can start in a reverse order to cover up the maximum weightage. And by the time they come to 3 marker, 1 marker, they are relaxed. Okay, now we need not to write so much. So, and one more suggestion, they should see that 1/3 of their paper should be complete in 1 hour. It means 26 to 28 marks weightage part should be covered in 1 hour, because they are going to get 3 hours for 80 marks. So 27 marks paper they should be able to complete in 1 hour, in 1 hour. So this is my suggestion. They can attempt in any order. This is totally the discretion of the student. But this is my suggestion to start in the reverse order. And don't over attempt questions. This is also a very sincere suggestion to all the attendees, to all the participants, those students who are attending this webinar, that it is not good to over attempt your question, because this irritates the evaluator, right? And this doesn't mean that it is banned or restricted somehow. If after attempting some given 34 questions, and it is mandatory, compulsory to do all the questions, only the option of over attempting you are going to get is from internal choices, right? And if after writing, first of all, first 15 minutes you have utilized to find out that which question I should attempt, so that will reduce the scope of over attemptation. But in case even after attempting your question you are confused about the answer, so you can do the other question of internal choice, right? There is no restriction on that. But my suggestion is it will lead to wastage of time unnecessarily. So choose your questions rationally with the, you should be very attentive and careful while choosing the choices, right? Which question is clear in your mind, and accordingly you should go. So don't over attempt. This unnecessarily irritates. But in case if you are confused or having doubt about some question, go ahead. See if you get, in case if you have attempted both the choices, and in one choice you got 3 marks, in the other choice you got 5 marks, 5 marks will be taken by the evaluator. So higher side jo hai, that will be taken into consideration. So you can attempt, you can do over attemptation, but avoid it, because this will unnecessarily create discomfort to the evaluator. And one thing which is very, very important, don't leave any question unattempted. Right? If you are doing some questions in unnecessary details, giving unnecessary, doing unnecessary lengthy questions, when lengthy answers are not asked, even then you are writing those things which are not asked at all in that question. So don't do that, because that will lead to this non-attemptation. So please attempt all the questions, right? Don't leave any question unattempted. This is very, very important. So what is my tip of the day, which is very, very important? See, whenever you are writing up your exam, keep in mind the psychological comfort of the examiner, evaluator in mind, right? Your answer should be readable, understandable to the evaluator, and that will certainly get you some extra marks if your evaluator is at comfort and easily understand the things which you have given and easily read the things which you have given. So it is going to matter a lot, right? So even if your content is not that impressive, but if you have done it in an understandable way, in a readable way, and you have kept in mind, see, there was a student in our school, right? That student was, no doubt, he was one of the toppers, and he used to write in this way that whenever he was going to start 1 markers, he used to write 1 marker questions heading right on the top, and then he used to write the beginning and end of the question also, that I'm attempting this question. And that was so comfortable to find out, okay, this child is doing this question and carrying this much weightage, and that impresses you as an individual also, as a teacher also, as an evaluator also. So his way of attempting paper, I gave example of that child to all my students also, so that they should also benefited from the kind of attemptation he used to do. Now, see what I have analyzed by going through the answer scripts of those students who scored full marks, right? I want to share with you those observations, because it is going to be very useful for the students to see the answer scripts of the toppers, those who scored 100, I mean 80 out of 80. See, first point which they kept in mind, legible handwriting. I hope you can see, I'm not saying that handwriting is very beautiful or something like that, right? But see, each and every word is clear, and the child has underlined these words properly. One thing which I want to make clear to the students, see, this is, the child has not written in with the black pen in this answer sheet. This is a photocopy, so that's why it is coming. You're not allowed to write with black pen in examination, so don't confuse it with that. See the kind of handwriting this child is having, very neat, very clean. So neat and clean handwriting, right, which the person can easily evaluate or can easily understand. Child has written in that way. And wherever this child is having confusion, has given in the bracket, right? If the question is not clear about the concept, that child has written proper note on it, that the question was not clear about it, so I'm writing 2 answers. So keep in mind, you need to be very attentive. So here you can see that thoroughly doing this subject is so important to even understand that question is wrong, right? And if you are not thorough, you can't even say that question was not correct, or yes, there was some ambiguity in question. So handwriting matters a lot. So it should be legible. I'm not saying that you should write in a beautiful way, but each and every word should be clear to the evaluator. This is going to help you a lot. One thing more which I see, this is 2018 topper answer sheet, which I'm sharing with you. So that's why it is not that clear. See, this child has left blank space. You can see this blank line. I suggest to all the students who are attending this webinar, and to all those who are not attending, please convey to them that they should leave at least 2 blank lines after each question, right? So evaluator can easily see that questions are, these two things are separate from each other, right? So clear differentiation should be made, a line of demarcation. If you can't draw, then leave 2-3 lines blank after each question. That will make it easy for the evaluator to evaluate the question properly, and कोई unmarked question is not going to be left, right? So blank lines after every answer is very, very important to make your answer script to neat and clean and look attractive. Proper indentation. See, this is 2018 answer script, and this is 2019 answer script. So I have taken two answer script to make it clear to the students. What is indentation? Indentation is spacing, giving space while writing the subpoints. See here, the child has left some space to write the subpoints. And see, it is so easy for me to see, okay, these are the subpoints which were asked in the question. And this is the concept that child underlined with black pen, with pencil, which is not appearing here, no doubt. Function of management is planning. There were two parts in this question. Number one, which function of management is involved in it, and what are the first two steps in that? So this child has made it clear that these are the steps and left space so that evaluator can easily see the subpoints. Here also, child has put arrow and all to leave some space here, right, to show the subpoints. So proper indentation, right? Indenting your subject matter, indenting your content impresses a lot. See, this child has made so beautiful diagrams. This is 2019 answer script. See, child has made this diagram. In this question, advantages of decentralization were asked. So child has written these points of importance or advantages of decentralization, and he made freehand diagrams. Clouds बनाएं. So these are freehand diagrams. It is not going to take much of your time. Moreover, in answer key, evaluators, they are given these instructions to give half or 1 mark according to the weightage of the question, half or 1 mark for the headings only. So this child scored 2 marks at least by giving heading in this diagram form, right? So it is so good to make a diagram, and that will certainly fetch you more marks than those who are not making these diagrams. This child, see, you can't even imagine diagram in this particular question, but child made this diagram. Supervisor has made, this is boss is giving some instruction to the supervisor, and supervisor clarifying his position to the boss that he is not able to accomplish the task because he is not given adequate authority to do that, right? Access to the resources to do that. So how can he perform the task? So child, you can see that child is so thoroughly prepared that he can give diagram where they are not even you imagine as an evaluator. This is so useful. So diagrams, pictures, flow charts, freehand. No need to use ruler. No need to use scale, because that is going to take so much time, and time is a very important determinant in business studies paper, in any theory paper. We keep telling our children, but most of the students, I mean those who are the toppers, they note down these points. Don't start new point or new question when page is about to end. See, there are some children, what they do after, if there are 2-3 lines left at the end of the page, they start writing the next point. Half the point is there and half the point is on the next page. This is not a very good practice. See, if the page is about to end, it is always good to shift your point to the next page. right? And for that, if you are shifting to the next page and if you are worried that sometimes evaluator may miss that, that child has written only 1 point or 2 point, because after space sometimes evaluator feels, so you should put a cross on the blank space, write PTO, please turn over. Then the examiner will understand that answer is still continued, right? So don't worry about it that the examiner or evaluator may miss that the portion of your answer which is given on the next page. Don't worry about it. Put a cross. You can write continued. You can write PTO, please turn over. See here, I hope it is clear. Child has left some space, put a cross and started new question on the next page. So this is the best way. You are not, you are given as many sheets as you want. So there is no restriction on sheets even, right? So you can take supplementary sheets also. So it is always good to leave those 2-3 lines which are left at the end of the page and start new point or new question on the next page. Again, as I talked about, questions of comparison or differentiation. See, I noticed in this particular 2018 answer script, this is 2018 answer script. This question is carrying differentiation and comparison. See, child has given basis properly and made a table, which is a sort of diagram only. And it is easy for the evaluator to understand the differences, right? So half the battle is won when you are writing it in a tabular form. So they see this question is of 3 marks and child got 3 marks, full marks in this question. So it is always good to give underline headings and main points. As I have already given one example, that name the concept. I'm repeating that example with this so that I can elaborate it according to this point. Underline headings and main points. As I said, that name a concept which bridges the gap between your current and future position, right? This was the question which I asked in the beginning also, if it comes for 1 marker. And explain the process involved in that. See, question can be given for 4 marks also, for 5 marks also, for 6 marks also. So name the concept. See, if you are not able to identify the correct concept, you are not going to get any mark because you are going to write the process wrong also. So if you identified the wrong concept, your process is also going to be wrong. So it is going to affect your marks, your score. So when you wrote planning, word in capital letters and underline it properly. And then leave 1 line and start the process, right? So in this question, child has written the answer decentralization in bold letters. See, that's why these kind of children, they score so high. I mean, full marks. It is really tough nowadays to get full marks, especially in theory subject. But when a child gets full marks in theory subject, it means something extraordinary that child has done while attempting and while preparation. No doubt your preparation, your attemptation is the outcome of your preparation only. And if you are prepared well, your attemptation is going to be excellent. So, and I must say that the role of a teacher is very, very important in improving the attemptation of a child. So decentralization, child has written in capital letters, and I suggest you to underline this also too, or you can write it in a box also. So concept the child has made clear, and C has written the point of importance, right? So underlined all the points properly. Headings have been underlined and the headings are taken from NCERT. See, the child has taken headings from NCERT. Child knows or trained well that answer key is going to be made from NCERT only. So child is so attentive and so careful while writing, while preparing and writing the exam, and he has taken the headings from NCERT only and underlined them properly, and underlined all the keywords also. So underline headings and main points, and if you feel some important word is there which should attract the attention of the evaluator, please underline that word also. Divide explanations of points into subpoints by using arrows or bullets or any other shape you can use. I mean, just to see when things are explained in paragraphs, as I already discussed. These toppers have incorporated that suggestion here. Maybe suggestion given by the teacher. See, this is the concept in bold. Right? Child had written that concept in bold, right? And then divided the definition or meaning into subpoints. Has not given in paragraph, lengthy paragraph. And arrows are given here to show the new points. It is not difficult at all. Children feel how to make. See, each line can be separated. I'm giving a tip to the student. Right? So there is no formula for it. Just divide all the lines into different paragraphs. So see the way the child has divided the paragraphs into different subpoints and put arrow or bullet, whatever you feel like, or you can put a dash even, right? Just to show that these are the important points involved in that particular concept. So explanation or definition or meaning can be given in this way. Very important thing. Children are not sometimes conscious about leaving the margins. See, left hand side margin, you can see these lines is given by default. It is printed in the answer sheet. So what we are given instructions that we should give marks with these answers, right? Evaluator writes marks here. We all know as evaluator that we are supposed to give marks with the answer number, which we ultimately take to the front page where question wise marks are written. So we carry forward these marks to that page then. So it is very important to keep the margin on the left hand side as well as on the right side also, because sometimes what children they do, they write it in write so much that the
So I think there is a breakage in voice, and I think I will request moderator means in case you can have a lot of questions. So right now we can read out questions. So later on it can also be taken. So meantime the connectivity is resumed. So definitely we will continue with the presentation.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. We have some questions here. How would we identify the keywords? And we should wait for ma'am to join us again.
Yes.
Right? We should wait for ma'am.
Yes.
I think she's the right person to answer these questions.
True.
Meanwhile, I would request the panelists if you want to share
Yeah.
anything about the webinar.
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience, Dr. Pooja, I would say. And I really wish that, you know, when I was at school, somebody could have given these kind of tips and techniques to me, because, you know, I think, you know, today's webinar, what I have got to know is that it comes more to the attempt part, you know, when it comes to, as Mr. Kavar also mentioned, you know, that it's all about how you attempt, and the right kind of attempt can make you fetch additional 15 marks, right? So yes, she very well, you know, she talked about, ma'am talked about you know, it has to be, the answers have to be visually impressive, and that is imperative. Of course, they have to be visually impressive, and you can be making flow charts, diagrams, and I feel that that would also expedite the entire process, of finishing your paper in time. So you know, somehow there were people, like there were students like me who were, we were into calligraphy, and we would decorate our paper so much that would make it difficult for us to complete our answers on time and complete our papers on time. And yes, then a very, again, very valid suggestion was that you attempt the paper in reverse order, because they are the kind of questions which would fetch you more marks, you know. Long answer type, there, you know, if it's a 2 marks question, if not 2, you'll get 1.5. But in long answer type questions, 4, 5, you know, that's going to make the difference more. So again, a very valid suggestion there, I would say. Yes, there was a question in the chat box. Somebody had mentioned if we could use another pen, we could highlight the important words, the key words in different ink. I don't think, because if I am correct, ma'am mentioned in her talk that, you know, the observations she shared during her presentation, that, you know, she showed us some Xerox answer sheets, previous year's answer sheets, and she mentioned that we are not allowed to use black pens. So I think as far as highlighting is considered, it could only be done with a pencil and not in any other ink. That is what I feel about
I
it.
think now we can take few questions like this. In starting, question was from this: will CBSE will follow? Just let me check. Will
Which
CBSE
CBSE?
follow ICIC and cancel exams? My dear friends, right now we can't comment. It is up to the authorities whether the exam is going to be held or not. So keep in touch with the authorities, with your school, with your principal, and definitely they will let you know. But I can suggest only you should go for your preparation by keeping into mind that examination will be as per the schedule, whatever it is given by CBSE. That is 9th of July for this paper. One by Tarun Nayyar, I think it is mentioned, can we get this presentation? Of course, I think in the end we are going to share the mail ID and all that, and definitely the presentation can also be shared with all of you. Further, I think few questions. I think
I have a question. Received a question on WhatsApp, so I will read that question. Hello, sir. I am from APJ school and taken admission in BCom honors at APJ Institute Ramamandi. Thank you to ma'am for conducting such a session. I have a question. If a student wants to answer the long questions first, so should the student leave blank sheets for shorter questions and attempt them later, or how to go about it? So I think ma'am
I
has.
think I already answered this question.
This has already been answered.
Yeah,
They
this
can
question is
attempt the
already.
paper in reverse order.
No
Yes,
problem.
yes, you can attempt the
Yes.
paper in the reverse order from end to
Right,
start.
right,
Yes.
right.
And I think it was a suggestion by ma'am that
Yes,
students
yes.
should attempt
Should attempt it
the
in
paper
reverse
in the
order.
reverse
Yes.
order, because of the
True,
stress
true.
also. They'll feel
Yes.
stress-free.
True. Right.
Because
Very
once
true.
you
True.
know, attempt
So
the
we
main
have the
part of the
expert.
question. Yeah. Ma'am
We
is
have the
back. Yes,
expert
ma'am.
with us. Yes. So I think
Ma'am, we
should
were
return
waiting
to
for
you.
you to
Sorry,
address the
some
questions.
technical issue was
Speak
there.
well so
So
that you
perfectly
can
fine,
finish
ma'am.
up your slide so that we can
Yes,
go
yes,
to
it's
the
about
question
to
answer
finish, sir.
session.
Only 1 or 2 slides are left now.
Okay, thank you.
So keep margin on both the sides. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So keep margin on both the sides. I'm clear, I think, with this, that your from right side also you should, and there is no need to use scale for leaving the margin on the right hand side. Just fold your sheet, automatically margin will appear on the right side, right? Together all the pages you can fold and you will get the margin. Again, a very, very important factor to be taken into mind, considered while writing your paper. See, in this particular questions about quoting of lines, 1 or 2 questions they come generally in board exam, in which children, they are supposed to write a particular line and then the concept related with that. So generally children, they don't understand how to write. See, in this question, the answer was planning. Which function is involved, or some question was about that. So planning was the answer. And then in case studies, some lines were given and they needed to quote line, then the concept involved in that. So feature involved and then line was quoted. So first of all, write the concept which is involved in that, then quote the line from that case study, from the question given in your question paper, those lines which are related with setting up of objective or related with the concept you identified, and then give the explanation and give space in between, proper space in between. So concept which was identified was setting up of objective. This was the feature which that child identified. And then the lines from which that child identified the concept, right? Those lines have been given. And then the meaning of that, the explanation of this particular point has been given in the end. So, and there is a proper spacing in all these three things. So this is going to matter a lot, because generally children, they got confused about these particular question in which they need to quote lines from the question itself to identify the concept and then name the concept and give the explanation also. So see, the child has attempted in such a wonderful way that we love to give full marks in this question to the child. So keep in mind this thing. And now I'm very thankful to all of you, and thankful to Dr. Bagga, Kanika ma'am, and Pooja ma'am, Kamal sir, and to the APJ Education Society for giving me such a wonderful opportunity for sharing my views, my experiences with the children. Being a mother, I always want that there should be someone to guide my child. I hope it is going to satisfy the parents also, that children, they are going to get guidelines from various means, right, from various mediums, you can say, and it is going to be useful for them. So now we can take questions in case if children, they have some queries or something. So we
Thank
can
you so much,
take
ma'am.
those
Thank
questions.
you so much. And that is nice on your part. You have mentioned in the end, for any queries, contact the speaker at Loveleen.
Yes, I have given my
learn.apj.edu.
This was,
but we can understand beautifully the second portion means by having the demonstration of answer sheet given by the CBSE, how to what kind of answer scripts those are getting 80 out of 80. So these are the wonderful tips. So thank you so much. But I think now I will request moderator and all the panelists, in case if any questions are pending in this Q&A form, that can be taken into consideration, and in case anyone can left, they can be answered later on, or students later on, they can raise their queries on this ID, whatever it is mentioned in the last slide. So thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Right, sir. Thank you so very much, Loveleen ma'am, for taking up this topic so beautifully and for such an excellent presentation. Because, you know, after seeing your presentation, I think the students who are attending this webinar, they can understand the importance of preparation. As you mentioned that, you know, well prepared, well begun, well prepared is half done. So they can very well understand the importance of preparation. Now, I think we should start with the questions. Ma'am, the first question we have here is by Mohit Sharma. He's asking, how would we identify the keywords?
How?
How would we identify the keywords?
Keywords.
Hanji.
Okay, ma'am. See, while doing the concepts, or while revising, or while doing the chapter, see, when they practice back exercise questions, right? Then they come to know that these are the concepts which are generally discussed. These are the terminology which is generally taken up in the questions. And in many books, keywords are given in the end of the chapter in the back exercise itself. Right? So while doing also, things start, see, they are not going to get the keywords in their first reading. No doubt about it. So when they are doing it once or twice, I mean, if they are doing it twice or thrice, they'll get to know, okay, this particular concept is very, very important. This term is very, very important. This helped me in identifying the answer, identifying the questions given in the case studies. One thing more I want to add up here, which I think I have left, that whenever they are going to answer their case studies, before reading the case study, please read the questions given below that case study. Sometimes certain things which are given in case study are not that useful, or they do not matter in answering that question. So read the questions given below that case study, then start finding the answers, right? Then start. So keywords are generally, they strike children while doing it. Teachers, they discuss in the class, please underline this word, underline this line. So they need to be very consistent in classes also. And attend classes properly, because theory subjects, they don't get extra help from outside. Teachers, they give them the proper coaching in the classes, proper training in the classes, not only with regard to this content. They train them to find out the important words also, important points also, right? So children, they will come to know after 1 or 2 revisions that this thing is very important.
I think
And
that is
after
more
doing the
important.
back exercise,
Yeah, that is more important, that they revise the concepts. It's not just reading
Huh,
it out just for one time.
reading
They
it
will
out
be,
for once.
yes.
Huh.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, next question is by Karan Chopra. He wants to know, ma'am, how to prepare case studies. I think you've already answered.
How to prepare case
Prepare
studies?
case studies, yes.
First of all, go through all the concepts given in your chapter, right? Then try to find out different types of case studies from different sample papers from different books. This is the only way, right? Conceptual clarity is the foremost important thing. That is the primary thing. And after that, start practicing case studies from various books, right? That is what I told you, that practice at least 40-50 case studies, so that maybe in writing, maybe just verbally or orally, and you will get to know how to do case studies, how to identify the answers given in the case studies.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, Damanpreet wants to know about the most important chapters.
See, we are talking about high score, and then we are talking about choosing of topics. That doesn't go side by side. But see, almost all the units are interlinked. And they know, or those who are commerce students, they know that all the chapters given in part A, they are interlinked, right? So choosing a topic is not suggested, because they need to be thorough to answer the case studies. They need to be thorough to answer their object type question, which are carrying 20 marks weightage. So if you just want to pass, so you can do any chapter which are carrying highest weightage. Like first 3 chapters are carrying highest weightage, as I told you. So you can choose those chapters, but I don't suggest that, because you need to be thorough to answer your object type questions, right? And moreover, this subject is going to matter a lot, because management is that subject which is to be applied in almost all the fields, whether it is hospital management, hospitality management. Management is applied, so you should be clear about all the things, right? So if you talk about average score, so you can choose any or a passing mark, you can choose any chapters carrying maximum weightage, but we are talking about highest weightage. So I suggest you to be thorough with all the chapters.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, there's another question by Keshav Arora.
Dr. Pooja, if I may ask a question.
Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, at times, parents have apprehensions related to study a group, and some
Sorry, ma'am, your
prefer
voice
studying
is
individually.
cracking.
So, but would you?
Harman, ma'am, your voice is cracking.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay,
able
ma'am.
to hear it properly.
Pooja ma'am, please continue. In the meanwhile, I'll check my connection.
Oh, it's audible, Harman ma'am. Now you can speak. It was audible.
Okay.
Now it is
okay,
audible.
Ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, at times parents have certain apprehensions related to group study. Some students like studying in a group and some prefer individual. So what's your suggestion? I mean, which method is more beneficial, or, which one would you recommend as students?
Okay. Group studies, see, no doubt this is totally the discretion of the students. I don't mind if they want to do group studies, but group study means discussion. Discussion means knowing the things properly, first of all. Then it is possible only to discuss certain facts and concepts or something if you're knowing it, right? So what I feel that children, and moreover, the kind of members in your group, are they focused? Do they know that what to prioritize and when to prioritize what? So these things are very important. Business studies is that subject in which we encourage students to discuss and learn, no doubt about it. But first of all, I think it is always good to do self-study, study alone, understand things, and then discuss with those who are having proper understanding of that subject. So include those members in your group, those who are focused and those who know when and where to prioritize, right? Parting and all should not be there. Wastage of time should not be there. So discussion is a
Exactly.
very good method to remember things, to learn things. But discussion can only take place if you know the facts and if you know the concepts thoroughly. So first of all, do your individual study, then discuss those concepts which you feel you have some doubt in your mind or which are confusing or you are not clear about certain things. All the things cannot, I don't suggest to discuss each and everything in your group. So individual study should be preferred first, followed by group study if you feel like.
Yeah,
So I think
definitely. And we don't
I will
recommend
request, I think,
group study during COVID times.
Yeah, moreover, this is not the time, but
Yes.
this medium is wonderful. They can exchange their discussions and this is going to save their time also. They are not going to party and they are not going to waste their time if they are sitting at home and under the supervision of the parents and discussing things. So it can be beneficial. I mean, I suggest students to, because discussions ultimately help them to face group discussion at later stage for their admissions in top courses, top colleges. So they should know what to discuss and how to discuss.
Exactly. Thank you, ma'am.
so thank you so much. I think we are now short of time, and reason being our connection is from APJ Education Society head office, but I think we are already around 2 hours. So any one or two quick questions can be taken. I will request moderator in case any one or two quick questions so that we can wind up. But in case if any questions being left, later on can be taken through the email ID which is given or through the registration link which was sent by the ID. So later on can be raised. So any quick question if it is left, you
Yes, so
can.
there are actually a lot of questions, but I think as you mentioned that there is shortage of time, so we'll not be able to take up all the questions. So if you allow me, I can take up one or two questions or...
Yeah, please
Okay.
go ahead.
Thank you, sir. There's a question by Keshav Arora. He wants to know, ma'am, sometimes there is a situation when student is available with, okay, when student has less content for the 5 or 6 marks question and they start repeating the points. So how to deal with such a situation? Okay, when the content is less and they start repeating the points.
See, if you are writing the content which is required to be given, less or more doesn't matter. Children, they are given 6 marks even if they have written 5-6 lines, but which were asked in the question. So content matters only if it is useful according to the question asked in the exam, right? So no need to worry about the length of the questions. No need to worry about the words or length. See, while evaluating, I have seen that many children, they scored very high marks only by writing 6 markers in half page of their answer sheet. So length doesn't matter, but yes, content should be, or language content matter should be according to the question asked only. Length doesn't matter.
That's
Right,
a
so
very
repetition
valuable-
should be avoided. Repetition should be avoided. It is not at all, we don't encourage repetitions to just I mean increase the length of the answer. So it is always good to avoid repetition.
That's a very valuable advice, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'll just read out another quick question. What we have to define in planning part is that I think this question, there are some questions which are related to the concepts of the books. So I think they can be answered via
Later.
emails. Yeah, we can answer them later on. Ma'am, there is a question by Rishita and she is asking about any book for case studies. Okay.
See, there are so many reference books and there are so many sample papers in the market and they are all good. I mean, you can choose any book, you can choose any, but it is important to do the case studies from sample papers issued by CBS. That is very, very important, right?
For the
Rest you can practice
content.
from any book, that doesn't matter. Moreover, generally I have seen that all the books, they overlap case studies. Duplication is there. So don't worry about it. But all those case studies which are related with the recent trends. Like there are some case studies which are related with GST, which are related with demonetization. So those things which are related with the current trends, they are very, very important. So keep in mind while doing those case studies that all those case studies you have revised properly and understood properly, which are related with the current issues, current trends.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a question by Devinder. He is asking how to prepare for 1 marks questions.
See, now in 20 marks, their composition of question will be some MCQs will be there. You need not to write anything, just take the right choice. That's it. And then in blanks, you need to write only the correct answer, right? You can't give unnecessary detail. And if you are asked to write any definition, just write that definition precisely, because definition means you can't change the language. Right? Definition means definition by a specific author, under a specific act. So don't change the language, give the definition. Don't elaborate your 1 markers, please. Just write in 1 or 2 lines. That's it. Right?
Okay.
So most of the questions are MCQs, blanks, true and false. So nothing to write in them, just to write the correct choice or take the correct choice.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a question. I would request my panelists to answer this question. This question by Damanpreet. How to focus on studies now after such a long break of this pandemic?
See, as commerce students, we always prepare our children. See, they are going to be entrepreneur and they should know how to deal with the sudden changes or challenges, right? So this is also a challenge. Take it positively. No doubt you need some time to put you back on track, but it is not difficult at all. Start reading 1 chapter, right? Your mind will start focusing. So no issues. You are trained to do that, and you should be trained to deal with all these situations and how to come on the track, how to come back. We can't take these, you can say, advantage of the situation that because of postponement of exam, we couldn't focus. See, you are a human being. We all are human beings. We have to come back. So let's do a comeback, that too with the proper energy and high spirit. So please start doing it right from now onwards.
It's been a long break and now you need to be
Yeah,
on track again, Damanpreet.
I understand it is really a very discouraging factor, but commerce students should not take it as a I mean, in that way, should not take it negatively. They are trained to deal with this situation, and as entrepreneurs, they should know how to deal with challenges. So this is a challenge.
Continuing with these challenges, I must congratulate Principal Mr. Grish Kumar, APJ School, Mahavi Marg, Jalandhar. You people in your school, you have taken wonderful steps and initiatives during this COVID time period, and how out of the way teachers, they come up with the online education. And the best part which I have seen, by conducting a lot of activities, that was the PPT presentation or the poem recitation competition, and so many activities you have done wonderfully. So I must congratulate to the team of APJ School, Mahavi Marg. Thank you so much, madam, for elaborating in so much of detail about how to score high. But I think that is really useful, not only in case of business studies, or BBA, BCom honors students, as well as the MBA students or MC or even BTech students. They can go through such points, having spacing or keeping margins on the left hand side and all that. These are the very small but definitely very useful tips in order to score high in any of the paper. Thank you so much. So please, I think now later on few leftover questions, I think we can take out through the mail ID or something like this, because already short of time. Thank you so much.
I just want to say a few words.
Yeah, please.
See, I'm very thankful to our principal, sir, Mr. Grish Kumar. He is a great motivator. He's a great leader, and he encourages us to come out of our comfort zones. And this is really what I feel. This is his training only, that we can deal with such a wonderful platforms. So I'm very thankful to sir that he allowed me to come here and share my views, and I'm very thankful to Dr. Bagga. As spouse, he encouraged me a lot and kept me motivated, and I mean, he tolerated my tension also, stress also. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anji Pooja, please.
Sir, I think so. The remaining questions can be taken on the emails. We'll be answering your questions on the emails. I think we've answered most of the questions. However, if we still have some questions left, we'll be answering them through the emails. And it was a great session, ma'am. Ma'am, you have very beautifully explained that through if you have good preparation, you can achieve anything. And it is actually the difference lies in the preparation and the way the students attempt their paper. Preparing for exams is the key to success. And students, my dear attendees, if you go by what Madam has taught in today's webinar, you are sure to achieve high scores in your exam. And the tip of the day, or the best suggestion that I would take away with me today would be, the more psychic comfort you give to the evaluator, the better it would be for you to fetch good marks. So you need to keep this in mind while attempting your paper, because try to attempt your paper from the evaluator's point of view. Whatever you are writing, your handwriting should be legitimate, keeping in mind the marks distribution, keeping in mind the time management, keeping in mind, the usage of the technical words, the key words, your language, which plays a very crucial role, very important role in fetching good marks. And ma'am, after this presentation, I feel that, how a good mentor can make it easier for students to review and appraise their exam readiness, and how students can make a difference in the quality of their own present preparations for the exams. And, exams require knowledge, skills, practice, and a positive attitude. And being well prepared, it certainly boosts your confidence. And throughout this webinar, my student cap was on today. And had I been, as a student, I attended this webinar, and there was so much of learning for me, which I'll be sharing with my own students. And the takeaway from this webinar would be, you just take the bull of exams by the horns, and you are bound to be successful in every area, not just the exams, but in every area, your future endeavors everywhere. So my heartfelt thanks to our resource person, Madam Loveleen Bagga, for delivering an extremely enlightening webinar. I hope that the students become more and more confident in their studies and take their exams more cautiously. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing very knowledgeable and thought-provoking ideas in today's session through your excellent presentation. The level of dedication and hard work that you put in your presentation, we could all feel that. And many thanks to our brilliant panelists for sharing their knowledge, guiding students, and making this webinar more interesting and meaningful. Finally, I would also like to further extend my heartfelt thanks to students, faculty, and participants for joining and connecting to us. I would like to express our profound gratitude to our director, sir, Dr. Rajesh Bagga. He is always the one to provide us with his constant support, motivation, and guidance. Thank you, sir, for being there as our support and mentor always. Thank you so much, sir. I'm also thankful to APJ Education Society for providing us with the strong technical support that was required to conduct this webinar. Thank you, Pankaj Dhaka, sir, for providing the assistance that was required, that was much needed to conduct this webinar. Special thanks to our systems engineer, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mishra, for the face behind the screens, for making this webinar a resounding success by providing the apt technical guidance and support. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.